When you're young, you have your heroes. And like for many kids, among these heroes were our parents. Like true heroes, they taught through example, family values, perseverance, and the joy of the simple pleasures. Who they are, their legacy, has always been immersed with nature. And nature has always been the root of their work and the spirit of their adventures. Our lifelong heroes shaped our childhood. Their love for nature was passed on. And through their teachings, the things that matter most in our lives had shifted.
I'm Eduardo Diez, and with my wife Dolores, we decided to start this wonderful venture. I was 33 years old, Dolores was 32 years old, and we came with a group of friends on a 1902 Baltic trader, which was a very, very old sailboat with very basic accommodations.
By the time I got married, I had already been back to the islands on 5 occasions, on different boats. I asked Eduardo about the islands, and we decided to organize a trip to the Galapagos. It was a 3-day navigation from Guayaquil, one of the most wonderful experiences. He immediately saw the possibility of opening up a tourism operation that will offer clients a safe option to visit the islands.
We decided that it might be very interesting to provide the very same experience but on a high level of comfort, safety, and certainly knowledge. So that was the beginning.
In 1986, Quasar Expeditions pioneered high-end yacht cruising in the Galapagos Islands with the Mistral and the Nortada. With an office team of just 7 and a small crew on the islands, the journey of their lives had begun, preserving through tourism the islands for tomorrow.
The operation was complicated, but it was funny because all the resources we had to use to be able to provide the service, as logistics were extremely basic, very few cargo boats, extremely unreliable, very few flights during the week. So one had to have a lot of imagination to really provide the service we were looking to do so.
At the beginning, the operation was challenging. So much so that there were very little settlers in the Galapagos, so finding crew members for our boats, which had the latest in technology, was extremely difficult. Getting the food was a real issue. I mean, we could serve fresh fruit and vegetables only at the beginning of the cruise, because by the end of the cruise, there was nothing available here in the Galapagos. Nevertheless, the captains of the boats, for example, they would say, "Who wants lobster for lunch?" And he would just dive in and come back with incredible lobsters that they served for lunch. So that made up for the limitations that we had. And the beauty of it is that passengers were not as demanding as they are nowadays. They knew the restrictions we lived through at those times. It was fabulous, really. Challenging, but fabulous. We had been extremely successful for all those years, so much so that we grew to 6 boats in a matter of 12 years. But then, those accidents, I have to admit, they changed the way we saw the operation.
On an ordinary Thursday, the Alta issued a distress call close to the port town of Puerto Ayora. A faulty lighthouse, combined with human error, had led the yacht to run aground. All those on board, including 15 passengers and 8 crew members, were safely evacuated. The Alta, however, was lost.
As it happens with accidents or with something that you're not expecting, and I'm sorry that my eyes fill with tears, because all of the work that we had gone through for so many years were on the verge of being ruined. There was a moment when we actually thought, this is it. We better start doing something else. But then I remembered the faces of my 3 children in the western side of Isabela. And that really made it. It said, that happiness, not only we can have it in our family, but we can offer it to our guests.
Maybe out of the bad thing that an accident could be, it provided us a basis to refocus what we were doing. Maybe at that time we were successful, and in a way, maybe we lost our initial focus, which was provide an experience. We had sort of diluted, and that made us rethink the company again, come back to the concept that small is beautiful, that with the smaller groups and a less number of ships, you can devote to a much better product.
To commemorate the 30th anniversary of our parents' fantastic life journey with Quasar, we decided to travel to the Galapagos all together as a family once again. Too much time had passed since we were last in the islands all together. We had allowed our busy lives to get in the way and had forgotten all about the wisdom hidden in the ways of life of this magical place. We were all uncertain of what would come from this voyage, but deep inside, I think we all knew this journey was long overdue. For us, as the younger generation, we hoped that through this voyage we would be able to find a balance between the old ways and the new. And for our parents, well, I think for them this journey was about living the moment and sharing with others these transformational experiences they had created.
You know, if you work hard, if you persevere, the results are actually fabulous. And here we are doing what we love. Our children involved in the business, not only here, but in other fabulous areas of the world. And I think it paid off. You know, our interest is to make people happy. And for us, there is nothing more rewarding than to hear one guest say, you know, I've had the week of my life.
In this great journey of life, we're sometimes dealt with a bad hand. We end up trapped in mazes with no immediate sight of the way out. But what we learned in this family voyage was that it doesn't matter how many times you fall. What matters is how you get up and how you choose to confront the odds that life has in store for each and every one of us. 30 years ago, our parents chose a life of travel because they had extraordinary adventures of their own that changed their lives. For most of us in travel, that is our story. Who knows what the future will hold for us next? But as a family, we'll continue living our own great adventures, learning from our heroes and using the power of adventure travel for a greater good.